ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Thursday, May 16th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. We're going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up today on the program, excited to talk to Andy Ball. He's head coach at Hurricane. Their tennis team won the SSAC championship, so we're going to talk to him in the next few minutes. So something that I've been looking forward to doing here for the last few days as we're getting into championship season. Did you listen to the show yesterday? If you didn't, go back and get it now. We had Abby Herring on, and the reason I'm telling you should go listen to it if you didn't, because we talked to Abby about what's happening next for her, what she think is going to be, and then, of course, we talked to Kylie Maston a couple of days ago. We stayed on track and field because we were hoping that we would get some good news, and we did get some good news. So the Thundering Herd, congratulations, several runners are going to be competing in the NCAA. How about that? Abby Herring's going to be competing. This is going to be her first track and field appearance. Kylie Maston also making her first appearance at the track and field championship. Rebecca Merritt and Tyra Thomas also. Merritt with the discus and hammer throw, and of course with Tyra, the 100-meter hurdle. So congratulations to them. We'll talk a little bit more about them later on, but I just want to point out, they're fun. Abby is fun to talk to. Kylie is fun as well. They both love Marshall. And so if you didn't hear those the last couple of days, go back and get that. That's on our podcast, so you can do that at WRVC.com, or you can get it on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. Baseball action coming up tonight. We got a 3-game series tonight. Coastal Carolina in town to take on your Thundering Herd. Marshall right now sitting at 9-18. In conference. They are 18-34 overall. They have a shot. It's an outside shot, but there's still a shot. Mathematically, a lot of things are going to happen. They're going to have a couple of teams ahead of them lose out, and then they're going to have to win out. So Marshall can't suffer a loss, or they're not going to the conference tournament. So these are important games from that standpoint, but they do not control their own fate. But still, the Herd closing out the regular season. The conference slate wraps up starting tonight, ending up on Saturday. Now, Saturday, you can't go to the game. We got you covered. It's the last game of our showcase this year. Marshall taking on Coastal Carolina. We're going to have that one for you Saturday right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So how many of you watched Caitlin Clark in her debut for the Indiana Fever? A lot of people did. 2.1 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA game on ESPN since 2001. And the viewership at one point peaked at 2.3 million. And that surpasses the previous record set by the 2004 debut of Phoenix Mercury star Diana Taurasi. That had 1.43 million viewers. Clark, what'd she do? 20 points. Transitioning quite nicely, don't you think? From NCAA to the WNBA, doing quite nicely. The last time the WNBA were able to draw viewership was a 2001 Memorial Day contest between the Los Angeles Sparks and the Houston Comets. That had 2.45 million viewers. Now, that was on NBC. Probably a greater reach on NBC than on ESPN. Obviously, NBC, a traditional network on over-the-air channels. And there wasn't that much to watch in 2001 compared to 2024. So that's a pretty big deal. Now, ratings-wise, it might not have ruled the night, but it definitely was competitive. A lot of things going on, and be able to pull in over 2 million viewers for a WNBA game, which a lot of people maybe didn't know about, or at the same time, maybe didn't give it a second thought. So Caitlin Clark doing wonders for not only the NCAA women's sports there, now she's probably going to be the main attraction for years to come as the face of that league. She's got to produce, though. 20 points in her game. That sounds like she's producing to me. Let's go back to baseball for just a second because we've got Pirates baseball coming up tonight. They're taking on the Cubs. We go on the air at 7:15, 7:40 first pitch right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Pirates lost to the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday 10-2. It was not a good afternoon outing for fans of the Pirates. The Guardians lost to the Texas Rangers 4-0. And the Reds lost to the Diamondbacks 2-1. Now, the Guardians are off today. They're going to play the Minnesota Twins tomorrow at 7:10. The Reds taking on Los Angeles. They're on the West Coast, 10:10 p.m. I'm not staying up late for that. I got NBA and I got hockey to watch. NBA last night, the Celtics get it done against the Cavaliers, 113-98. The Celtics eliminate the Cavs in 5 games. Remember when Cavs fans were all excited that they had a game in this series? Different feeling in the city of Champion. Not champions, the city of Champion. I don't count that stuff before the Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to hear about that. So the Celtics advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd straight season. Jason Tatum led the Celtics with 25 points, 10 rebounds, and Al Horford recorded 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Who's he joined? Oh, just LeBron James and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the only players 37 or older to achieve a 20-point, 15-rebound, 5-assist game in NBA playoffs history. How about that? That's pretty impressive. Celtics going to face the winners of the Indiana Pacers New York Knicks series. The Cavaliers end their season with a 48-34 record. Mavericks get the best of the Oklahoma City Thunder, 104-92. Mavericks now lead the series 3-2. The NBA tonight, Nuggets taking on the Timberwolves. That's going to be on ESPN. Last night in the NHL, Colorado Avalanche get the better of the Stars 5-3. Stars still lead that series 3-2. Game 6 scheduled for Friday night in Colorado. We have someone in the office who is a huge Colorado Avalanche fan. And I looked at him, and this was yesterday. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, Eric, you gotta believe. You gotta believe they're gonna come back. They're still the Colorado Avalanche. And of course, they did come back, making it interesting. We've got a couple of interesting ones tonight. The Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. At one point, the Rangers led this series 3-0. It's now 3-2. Game's going to be 7 o'clock on TNT, and then the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks will follow, and that series is tied 2 games apiece. That's been a good series so far between the Oilers and the Canucks. But the Rangers and the Hurricanes, this could go either 7 or it ends tonight. Hopefully, for me, it ends tonight. But Saturday, I'm busy on Saturday, so I can't break away from what I got to do on Saturday to watch this game. So we got to look. I got to go to a wedding on Saturday. You've heard me reference the old professor sometimes on this program, Dr. Charles G. Bailey at Marshall University, because he listens and still critiques the show to this day. I mean, I began my college career at Marshall and Dr. Bailey in 1989. Still sends me critiques to this day. So he's getting married. I can't miss that. So I have to go to that. So the Rangers have got to do me a solid tonight and get that done. When we continue, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk tennis. We got Andy Ball coming up, Hurricane boys tennis coach. They won the 2024 WVSSAC State Championship. He joins us on the other side of the break here on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua's Sauvignon Blanc. Kick off the summer Friday, May 17th. It's K&B Pest Control Night with Kindred Valley and Sam Epling on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for June 21st for a ticket to ride to 9th Street Live, a celebration of the Beatles with the Newbies. Friday, August 2nd, 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity, and Kendrick Communications.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Okay, it's here. Everyone stay calm. It's Kohl's lowest prices of the season. And when I say low, I mean low. I got my kids jumping beans tees for $3.99. Treated myself to some cute tees and tank tops under $5. And got great finds for our patio, 50% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash on all of it. Sounds too good to be true? Well, I guess you'll have to go to Kohl's and find out for yourself. Select styles. Offers end May 15th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We are efforting as we speak Andy Ball. We are efforting him. If we can't get him on this segment, we'll get him on next. Of course, Andy, the head coach of the Hurricane Boys tennis team, they won the 2024 state championship in the state of West Virginia. So until then, we'll start the text line opening. Right now, we'll get that open. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll start getting those lined up here in just a few minutes. texter writes in and says, congratulations, Paul. It's good to hear you with Woody. Some words of wisdom for you both. Good to hear Jason Toy. You guys have the best sports broadcast in West Virginia. I love Woody. He was actually here earlier today. He's heading over to the ballpark. We've got the baseball game coming up this Saturday, and the Thundering Herd hopefully will win all three, get into the postseason. That's the goal, is get all three. And, of course, Woody's going to be there with Jason Toy. So we'll have that broadcast coming up on Saturday here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's welcome to the program now. He is the head coach of the state champion Hurricane Redskins, winning the championship in tennis, state of West Virginia. Good to welcome to the program, and probably for the first time. I don't think we've had Andy Ball on with us before. Andy, congratulations and welcome.
Well, thank you.
How exciting is it? You've been with Hurricane Tennis since the beginning. How exciting is it for you to have that championship?
Very exciting. Of course, from the beginning means 1970 when I started the team. Of course, I retired and after about 25 years, and then I just got it back last year.
How does it feel just to have such longevity to do it, start it, found it, and then come back to it? Did you think it would ever go this way?
I didn't think it'd go all around like that. I didn't think of taking it back, because when I retired, I just gave it up after about 30 years. But all at once it came open last year. And I thought, well, I'll just apply. I still think I know what I'm doing to some extent. And I got the job and had it last year. And, of course, this year was a terrific year, state champion.
You came close last year, so I think you are well qualified to say you know what you're doing. You came so close last year, so this year I'm sure it means even more to get back to have that consistency, but to punch through this year.
Well, it sure does. It was hard to let it go. When you lose like we did last year, so close, and such a good team, and it was hard to say, well, I'll just wait till next year. But, just waited around and got the team together, and the team was still intact, and we had only lost one player from last year's team. And so it was, you feel like you got a team to do it, but, still you got to go out and win your matches.
Andy Ball's with us.
A little bit anxious there.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Andy Ball's with us, head coach of the Hurricane boys tennis team, winning the state championship. Did that carry over from last year? How much of that played into the team's attitude this year? Were they still thinking about it, or did they just look forward? Or a little bit of both, a mix?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it ever came up. We just concentrated on this year and what needs to be done, and they were just back into tennis, and there wasn't any real purpose to go back of what should have been, of what we would like to have been. But in the back of our minds, I'm sure all of them had the same feeling, gosh, we got the team to do it this year. Hope nothing goes wrong.
You think you're going to keep doing it? Is next year already on your mind? Go and get that repeat?
I'll put it like this. Next year, we're losing a really, really good player, my number 2 player, who's going to play at Fairmont. Zach Gertz, and it was unusual because he was number 2 in my team, but he was in the top 4 in the state, which he was better than about all the number 1s. So that's how good he was, but he's gone. But I think we're going to be have our chance again, and because I got everybody back, we had one other senior, but 4 of the 5 back, and my number 1, of course, who's state champion, is back, and plus the fact that knowing the other teams like Cabell Midland, who's the second best in the state, it's something that 2 of the best teams in the state, only 20 minutes apart, but but they're losing people too. So it all depends on what people come back with, I guess.
Yeah, you mentioned the state champion Jacob Smolder. Talk about his journey, if you would. Just he had to go through a lot to get to that state championship. And of course, when you have a team that's so loaded, eventually you might have to go up against your teammates to get that individual championship.
And that's true. We get to in the Final Four. Number one played my number two, so it was obvious I was going to have somebody in the state championship. But it turned out Jacob beat Zach, and so I had him in the states. But Jacob's record, we played 21 matches, which is a lot of matches for high school, and he won 20 matches. We played a really, really good team out of Ashland, and it was very, very close. And played one of the top players in Ohio and Kentucky. But that was his only loss. Didn't lose to anybody in West Virginia.
My guess
is
he
did go up and play the northern schools, like that.
My guest is Andy Ball, Hurricane boys tennis coach, winning the state championship. Jacob Smolder winning the individual championship in the state of West Virginia. Now, going back to the beginnings, we alluded to you've been with Hurricane since the beginning, and that means founding the program. And I don't know if a lot of people maybe outside of Hurricane don't know this. In Hurricane, they know this, but in the 70s, you were asked to start the tennis program at Hurricane, and you told them that you knew nothing about the game. And look at you now. You knew nothing about the game, but yet you've shepherded this program so far, and now you're contending and winning championships.
Yeah, that's considering out, when I started the team in the 70s, of course, not that many schools had tennis teams, so there wasn't any regionals. Everybody could just pretty well go to the States. But I never dreamed I could come that far along. I just thought, well, we're going to have a tennis team. It's going to be a lot of fun and all that. But, over the years, it just developed. And one of the big changes is that you're getting boys now who play year-round, And so they are really up to the challenge as far as the playing part. But it's to come that far to think, well, we'll win a state championship one of these days. Back then we were just struggling to get out there and play some schools.
When you started the program, you had to obviously learn, get up to speed. You had previously been a coach, so this wasn't totally foreign to you. That it didn't call you off the street and said, hey, would you like to start a program? You've had coaching experience. And one of the joys sometimes of coaching is the fact that you have children and they play the sport that you coach. How special was that to start this program and then to coach your son and your daughter, who at the time played the number one position for you on the teams, and your son would go on to be the state champion at the number one position in 82 and 83, and then, of course, he goes to WVU. That had to be a special moment for you just to have this program start, get it started, and then have your son and your daughter where you can coach them as well.
Oh, that was terrific, going all that long. But, all at once I realized, and he had some tennis skills, and so he played for me in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade at number one. And maybe lost 2 or 3 matches in 4 years and won the state championship, which was good. And went on to West Virginia. My daughter played number 2, number 1 also, same years. Well, it was a year difference, but she didn't like that because everybody thought she was supposed to be good because her brother was good. But she was okay. She's listening. I hope she doesn't get upset with that.
I'm sure she won't get upset, but I'm sure dinner time was a little awkward. You go from being their coach to their father. How did you deal with that dynamic?
Well, only way you deal with it is realize that it's fun. You like to win. You want to win, but it's once you play a match and you give 100%, it's over. It's over. In other words, you can't dwell on what should have been. We could have won this or could have won that. So it never entered into, and he's not going to win every match, of course, but it never entered into it being worth worrying about or thinking about or something you regret. It was just a fun experience all the way through. And plus the fact, in the tennis world, you meet make a lot of friends, good friends. And so that's what happened too.
So how overwhelmed have you been with everyone congratulating you since you won the championship for the team?
How was that again?
How many people have reached out to you just to congratulate you for coaching a winner? You mentioned a lot of friends, so I'm sure that every way that people can know how to contact you has been blown up with just well wishes.
Oh yeah, everybody. Well, Hurricane is in the town of Hurricane, school of Hurricane, just the city. Everybody knows everybody, and it's immediately around, and everybody I see and talk to, they're always congratulating me and so on. And it's a good feeling, and it's good that it's a win for the community too. Like, it's Hurricane High School and the town of Hurricane, and even the mayor and everybody else is a good friend, and so that's a good feeling to have. But especially for the boys, they a really terrific group of boys, and they were just fun. I look forward to practice, and I think they look forward to practice, and we have a lot of fun and give 100% all the time.
Andy Ball's with us, head coach of Hurricane High School, winning the state championship. How much has changed? You come back to this, and there's a gap. And players, you go out, you play, it's the same game. It hasn't drastically changed. And so there's nothing that's different, too drastically from 1970 to now. But how has it changed? Was there a gap for you, a learning curve that you had to get back into this, with a new generation?
Well, several ways it's changed. Of course, one way it's changed is originally it was just starting, and they didn't know how, the format and all that. And first started, we played 6 singles. Now we play 4 because you can't. The match takes so long, and there wasn't that many with teams. So you go to the states. You find a parking place. You qualify to go to the states. So there was that way a long time, and then. One way it was different back then is tennis was pretty well a seasonal sport. I mean, it was during school, when the season was in, but the biggest change is people are now getting in clubs and clinics, and taking lessons, and to be real honest, sometimes I wonder, as a high school coach, how much can you do, because if they're taking lessons from teaching pros, it's hard to, you got to work with those situations. But my boys, I have no problem with it. They were just fun, and I knew enough to help them sometimes. But the biggest thing is they're good. They love the game. They're very athletic, and they don't know how to do anything but give 100%. So it's a matter of just let them go sometimes.
My guest is Andy Ball. He's the head coach at Hurricane High School. They win the state championship. And, of course, as a head coach, it doesn't matter if they have the coaching pros. You're the head coach. You get the trophy. You get to hold the trophy up. So that's your victory.
Right. That is.
Along with the players. And, of course, I don't want to admit them. But, as the head coach, you get all the credit for the trophy. And I'm sure that if not already, when's the celebration going to be? We're going to have a parade in Hurricane. What are the long-term big plans here to celebrate this?
Well, we had I don't think it'd be a parade or anything like that, but they'll have an awards assembly at the school, which would be a big thing because we are the state champions in tennis. And last night we had our tennis banquet and all the parents, and it was really a different mood this year. Last year was great, but last year we came in as runner-up. This year we come in as a winner, and everybody's just so proud of their boys for what they accomplished, the parents. And of course, that's the other thing. It makes a big difference if you have parents who are really, really considerate and help you out. It makes coaching easier.
This is a great opportunity to improve the boosters. Now you have that championship. You can hit the boosters up to and others to help donate more to the program. So you got to capitalize on that as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, and I honestly believe that the program, I don't know if it would be the caliber it is this year, because this year, to be honest, we played about 60-some matches. I mean, not 60, we played about 21 matches, but we played about 60 singles, and we only lost about 3 or 4 singles matches the whole year. And we played about 50 doubles, and we only lost about 2 doubles matches. So we not only won, but we sort of dominated in a way because, we just had that mentality that they're good and they can play.
My guest, head coach of the Hurricane Toys tennis team, Andy Ball, and you mentioned they're good and they can play. And with Jacob winning the individual, and of course Zachary doing so well, who's coming back for you that maybe we should keep an eye on for next year as you start planning next year's championship run?
Well, Jacob would definitely be back, and like I said, undefeated, state champion. What else can you do? And getting better all the time. It's hard to believe. Watch him play, you say, how can he get better? But he can. He's just a terrific player, but a smart player. You can walk into the middle match. You can't tell if he's losing or winning because he's just focused on the point. He's not worried about it, missing a shot. It's just fun to watch him and watch how many skills he has. So he's definitely back. But my number 3 guy, Elias Cave, he's back, and he'll probably be up at number 2 maybe. And these guys are really good. I mean, what I mean by good is, number 4, Kevin Polly, what I mean by good is they're smart, they know what they're doing, they can keep the ball in play. Because the one thing we emphasize on is the secret to winning is consistency. Because I told them, if you don't miss, you're going to win, period. Which is true. And so they had to hit it 10, 15, 20 times to get the points. They do that. It's a mentality that they developed, plus the fact that the program is going to stay good because I told the others, you get to practice with the best team in the state. How many kids can say that? Therefore, your game is going to go up and the program is going to go up. So I look, I don't know how long I'll be around because I'm in my 80s, but I look for the program to stay on a high level. It's one of the top contenders in the state.
Well, you've built something pretty special there, and I know Hurricane. It's a fantastic community. Love their sports teams, and I think you're right. It's going to be a contender for a long time to come. Andy, thanks for spending some time with us. We wanted to congratulate you and celebrate this with you, and I think you did a fantastic job with this. And let's hope that we're talking to you next year about another championship.
Okay, that's fine. Also, I want to mention Blake Shamlin, who's a senior. And he was a really good player for us. They're our number 3 doubles. And Grant Knapp, they were undefeated all year, too, at number 3 doubles. They didn't lose a match.
That's tremendous.
20. So, the program's going to keep going.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is tremendous.
If it's under me, that'd be great. But whoever's going to get him is going to get a good pro.
Well, Andy, we hope it's you next year we're talking to. I mean, we'll talk to the other guy, but we're hoping it's you next year.
Well, I hope the same thing.
Andy, thanks for talking to me today. I appreciate it. Congratulations, and thanks for letting us celebrate a little bit with you.
Okay, well, thank you for letting me talk to you.
That's Andy Ball. Thank you, Andy. Andy Ball, Hurricane boys tennis coach. They win the state championship. And, of course, right up the road from Cabell Midland. So I'm sure there's some Cabell Midland folks right now sitting there going, no, we're going to be winning the state championship next year. Swann, you're going to be talking to us. We'll see. Quick timeout. We'll continue. Text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Experience the perfect blend of music and adventure at Whiz Bangers Ball. June 14th and 15th at the Summit, Bechtel Reserve, Glenjean, West Virginia. With performances by artists like Tyler Childers, John R. Miller, Arlo McKinney, and thrilling activities like ziplining. Whiz Bangers Ball is sure to be the ultimate summer experience. Whiz Bangers Ball with Tyler Childers and 14 more great acts. June 14th and 15th, Summit Bechtel Reserve, Glenjean, West Virginia. Tickets and more at whizbangersball.com.
Save big money and transform your home with new appliances now at Menards. We offer the lowest prices and the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. Check out top appliance brands, including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your home and save big money on new appliances at Menards. Shop our entire selection of appliance options online today at Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey there, baseball fans. Are you craving a home run of flavor? Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Whether you're a fan of French dip, fried bologna, Reuben, or Southern fried chicken, the Marshall Cafe has sliders that'll knock it out of the park. Each order comes with a side of fries, rounding out your winning lineup.
Hey, take me out to the ball game.
Slide into Flavortown with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off Duration and Super Deck products May 17th through the 20th. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Thursday, May 16th edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Busy night. We've got baseball coming up. The Pittsburgh Pirates in action, hoping to get a win, a much-needed win. They blew it yesterday, 10-2, so they're going to try to get that out of their mouth. That's a terrible taste to have. They hope to get it done against the Cubbies. We'll go on the air 7:15 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Of course, the Herd in action taking on Coastal Carolina. Series starts tonight, 6 o'clock over at Jack Cook Field. We'll have the Saturday game here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Track and field, let me tell you, track and field, they're doing things over there. We had Abby Herring on. We had Kylie Maston on a couple of days ago. And we're going to probably have to now have Rebecca Merritt on, and we're going to have Tyra Thompson on. Rebecca Merritt, she makes her second consecutive NCAA East Championship appearance, qualifying in the discus with a 52-meter throw at the Music City Challenge and in the hammer throw with a 58.14-meter mark at the FSU relays. Tyra Thomas, she qualified for the 100-meter hurdles. She is in her second consecutive NCAA East appearance and her second consecutive appearance in the 100-meter hurdles. She qualified with a time of 13.39 seconds in the prelims of the Sun Belt Conference Outdoor Championship. She earned the bronze there. And, of course, Abby Herring, her first track and field championship appearance, qualifying with a school record time of 33 minutes and 8.7 seconds, ranking 22nd in the 10K. Kylie Maston in the 1500, making her first appearance. Her time of 4 minutes and 19.49 seconds. Good enough from the Music City Challenge, setting a Marshall University record. Now, the top 12 finishers in the first round events, combined with the top 12 in the West region, will advance to the NCAA Track and Field Championship Finals. That's coming up June 5th in Oregon. So hopefully all 4 of them will be making it on to the next round. They got to get through it first, though. I think Abby and Kylie will do well. I know Abby's slow, she says. I think Abby is slow, according to Abby. And, of course, Kylie just tearing it up on the 1500. So I think they got legit shots here to do this. And, of course, I'll put my money on both of them to finish in the top 12. I'd take that challenge. And I think Rebecca Merritt and Tyra Thomas, they're just fantastic. So I think they all have a chance at this. I'm not just looking at this from the Marshall perspective. I think they have a legitimate shot at this here. And track and field, there's a lot of attention being paid to the program now. Not that there hasn't been, but for a long time they didn't have anything. And now they got the indoor facility, and now they have increased staff, and they have put more resources into it. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future, I don't know how far in the future, we might see upgrades to the indoor facility that would serve both football and track and field. Who knows? Maybe we can see more outdoor events. Maybe we can see more of an outdoor presence from this team as well. But they're definitely on the right track, and I hope that we eventually start talking more about the men and their successes. That's the big challenge there. How can we get the men to a point where they're contending now, and we see the success the women are having, and I think that's just going to carry over to the next year. Once you start becoming successful, it becomes contagious, to be quite honest with you. So congratulations to all of them, and I think they're going to do well in this, and it'll be fun. So we'll try to get on the program here in the near future. Rebecca Merritt and Tyra Thomas, we'll try to talk to them if we can sooner than later. If not, we'll get them on after the, obviously, we've got the East Championship Regionals coming up, so we're going to do our best to talk to them sometime here in the near future. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got a break to take. We'll come back. We'll get to your text line questions here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
America Strong. It's what we're all about. And to keep America strong, all Glockner locations are offering our lowest live market prices so you save big. And with our partnership with Kelley Blue Book, the Glockner buying centers are able to offer $2,000 above current market value for your current vehicle. That's how we're keeping America strong at the Glockner family of dealerships.
We make it easy at Glockner.com.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL HHS and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off Duration and Super Deck products May 17th through the 20th. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Texter writes in and says, Paul, how many scholarships are left for both men's and women's basketball? I don't want to hazard a number just yet because I know that there are some players coming in. I don't know if anything's official final just yet. Of course, Marshall hiring Rob Fulford the other day, and you know he's going to be bringing in some players. So I don't have a final official number, but I think they're close to getting everything filled. On the women's side, of course, I'm sure there's going to be a couple more player announcements here soon. So I don't think that there are that many holes, but I don't want to hazard an exact number. Sorry. I just don't want to say, hey, here's the number and then get it wrong. So I'd rather hazard a more educated guess, as there's still some stuff in the pipeline. We'll get more information as these guys and gals start cooking. I think Rob Fulford is going to be cooking real soon here, if he's not already. Of course, you know, Marshall picking up some transfer players in basketball, and we'll see some more news come out soon. Remember, Marshall retained on the women's side. Marshall retained most of everyone that left in the transfer portal. Marshall was able to retain the core that came back. And then you start adding, and of course, Marshall picking up a recent recruit from the high school ranks. I think you got a few to play with, but we don't know what the composition of the players that are still on the roster is going to look like, to be honest with you. You know, who's going to get a scholarship and who's not. And with name, image, and likeness, I don't know if we're going to see different avenues. What's the landscape going to be here soon? Because there's a lot of talk about possibly players getting a percentage of athletic budgets. There's a lot going on. And of course, the power schools are really making a push to increase scholarships on a lot of sports. And so we don't know what the makeup's going to be, because you know how the other teams like soccer splitting the scholarships up, baseball splitting the scholarships up. So we'll get you, hopefully we can do a head count soon of who's a maybe, who's definite, who do we know about, who we think's coming, and who's going to surprise us. But we have a research staff here that we will put on there to get us the exact number. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Text line. NFL schedule coming out. Texter wants to know about any games I've circled that I want to go to. Games I want to go to. Well, first of all, if it's a free ticket, because NFL tickets cost, I'm there. So the first game I want to go to is whatever game is available to me. It's hard to get those tickets, the good ones. I mean, I don't know if I want to sit up like real high, where I have to get binoculars. You know, I'm talking about those really high seats. No, you look at some of the games. I want to go see, and this is only because I think it'd be fun. I can road trip with a few people. I want to see the game against Philadelphia. I want to see the Bengals in Philadelphia. I mean, I've seen the Bengals in Cleveland. I mean, if I was there, I would be all in it. But, the game against Pittsburgh, if I was there, I've seen that. I want to see something different. So I think the Bengals in Philadelphia would be fun to watch. The game against the Patriots, it doesn't have the same appeal to me as it once did. I don't even care about Washington. That doesn't interest me at all. And so if we're looking at the home schedule, if we're talking about forget about the conference opponents. That's a good game to go to anytime. Just don't talk about the conference opponents. But if you had to say, okay, you could only go to one game, which one would it be? I would say it'd have to be the Philadelphia game. Las Vegas would be a close second, but the first game definitely would be the Bengals and Philadelphia. And I think that would be the fun one to go to. I've been to that game before, but I think it'd be even better now because Philadelphia is still really good. But that aside, the conference games, you can't go wrong there. But any game, but I don't know if I would be that eager. I mean, home opener against New England, I'm sure that place would be jumping. But the Bengals in Washington, I don't know if I'm paying money for that. I mean, that's a Monday night game also, so you know how those games go. I'm not paying money. If you're asking me what game would I pay money for, I would pay money for Philadelphia. I would pay money for Las Vegas. I would pay money for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I'm not paying money for Cleveland. Now, Cleveland's going to be good, but I'm already paying money for Prime Video, so I'm going to watch it there. If it's a Thursday night game, that's the thing. Prime Video, 3 games. The preseason game, which I don't even count, and then the game against Baltimore and the game against Cleveland, that's going to be on Prime. The final 2 games, we don't even know where those are going to be just yet. Everything else is going to be on CBS or Fox for the most part. And, of course, the schedule, if it doesn't work for you television-wise, we got you covered. Games right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So that's my answer to that one. Finally tonight, big announcement today. Our intern, Ben Anderson, has been jumping up and down all day long. Now, he's high-strung already. He is high energy, high strung all day, and he consumes, he told me, I think 4 or 5 cups of coffee in the morning to get started. The official release date for EA Sports NCAA Football 25 was set today, and it is coming out. Are you ready for this? And the pre-orders are already up and available. We're talking about in the next couple months it's coming out. And the pre-orders are already available. There is a deluxe edition that lets you have the game 3 days early. Don't do that. Don't pay for that. And it's going to be available for Xbox and PlayStation, the new generations. The new generation systems. So it's coming out here in the next couple of months, and you can get the pre-order already, and it's going to be July 19th. And that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you on Monday. We are going to be preempted tomorrow. We got Pirates baseball in the afternoon. They're taking on the Cubbies, and you know the Cubbies like to play in the afternoon because what else is there to do in Chicago, right, except go to a Cubs game? We've got that coming up for you tomorrow. The Pirates and the Cubbies coming up tonight right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. For our producer, Ben Anderson, thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul Swann. This has been The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Retransmitting in glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.